So I hope all of you had a good weekend. I had a lovely weekend. Just got back from my family's. So glad I went, because as a lot of you know, sometimes it's difficult to get yourself to do these things. But I had a good weekend, and on the way back in Edgware Road, I went into a Costa Coffee and I wrote this down. And I'm really pleased with it, really proud of myself for writing this. And I'm going to share this out, and this is going to be one of my teachings today that will help a lot of people who are going through struggles with anxiety and intrusive thoughts. And of course, we all go through struggles in life. I think people forget that, even when things are going well. You know, I've got struggles in my life. It's an ongoing thing. And depending on how you use your struggle, it's going to determine how you feel about yourself and how your life goes, etc. So bear with me, let me read this out. For those of you that are new to my YouTube channel, I really appreciate it. My name's Jonathan O'Halloran, and I'm a teacher and a mentor who helps people that have got anxiety to build confidence, discipline, to find gratitude, to be themselves and to live their dreams and live their life. A part of me always feels a bit awkward and a little bit, I don't know if embarrassed is the right word, but I always feel a little bit uncomfortable when I say I'm a teacher and I'm a mentor, because I've got a voice in my head that says I'm showing off and I'm being arrogant and I don't want to make other people feel small. But obviously that's not what I'm about and that's not what I feel, but these are some of my own intrusive thoughts, because I know how it feels to feel small and for someone to say I'm this, I'm that, and then you feel, oh, I'm nothing then. But that's really not the case. If any of you really knew me, you'd knew that I really don't feel that and believe that about myself. But at the same time, I'm not going to be ashamed and apologize for loving what I do. And I am a teacher and I am a mentor in this area, and I've been doing it for a long time now, for 12 years, even though it doesn't feel that long because time's gone so quick and you know there's so much going on. But so that's a bit about me in case you didn't know. Right, okay, so I wrote this down. Just give me a second. God, I still get nervous when I read stuff out. I still get nervous when I do these videos. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All the fears I've faced, and all the people that I've helped, and all the people that I've told not to be nervous and believe in themselves, and yet I still get nervous and I still feel insecure and I still do worry a little bit about what people are thinking about me, what my family are thinking, what my friends would think, what you would think, what other people. But every time I do it, and I do it from a good place, I overcome the fear. I feel great about myself. I feel honest. I get the strength to not care about what people would say if they was to attack me. And I get past those voices that say you wouldn't be able to handle it, you'd fall apart, and you're not good enough to teach people because you've got your own struggles and this and that. Man, that's been the story of my life. That's been the story of my life. Anyway. Right, okay, so I wrote this today. I love this when this happens. I didn't plan it. It wasn't forced. There was no pressure, and it came out. And I was thinking about a struggle that I'm going through at the moment, and how can I help other people? How can I teach? How can I give the best possible teaching today, the best value? And it came to me in the coffee shop whilst drinking coffee. And I'm not going to lie, I did have some carrot cake. I do cheat with my meals every now and then, but that's fine, I do it healthy. Right, okay, let's get to it, sorry. And my food's in the oven there. Okay, so what have I learned about struggling and going through many struggles at different stages of my life? Question mark. I started with that. I didn't do this from my head, you'll probably sense that. This come from my heart. The first thing that I've learned about struggling is about asking for help when I desperately need it, and not allowing my fears or my pride of what other people will think about me stop me from asking for help. Asking for help is not a weakness, it is a strength that takes tremendous courage. When I'm struggling, the first place I always go to is God. Some of you might relate to that. Some of you may not, that's fine. The second place I always go to is my mum and my dad, and my brother as well, for help. The third place I always go to is with a close friend. You know, whatever stage I'm at in my life, thank God I've always been blessed to have at least one close friend that I could trust, fully can trust them and be vulnerable and ask them for help. And they've always given it to me. That's the mark of a good friend, by the way. And the final place I always go is within myself. That I've got a strong part of me, as insecure as I am and as anxious as I can be with all my issues and all my weaknesses. Thank God I've always had this kind of folder, this strong part of me that I can always go to. It's not always easy for me. It's not always easy for me to go there. And a lot of times I don't want to go there because I'm frightened, but I can always go there when I need to. So, as someone who has struggled with anxiety and intrusive thoughts my entire life, I've learned a lot about anxiety and the opposite of anxiety, which is peace. The most important thing I've learned is never giving up fighting when you're in a struggle and you're going through a struggle in your life. There are always two available choices when you're struggling, and that's to give up or to not give up. The next valuable thing I've learned about struggling is communication with yourself and people whom you trust. If you're not honest about your struggle and exactly what you're struggling with, things won't get better for you, and you won't be able to eventually overcome your struggle, or it's going to take longer. Honest confession is so powerful in that it enables you to free yourself from the mental and emotional pain that your struggle is causing you. The worst thing you can do when you're struggling is to bottle things up. This feeds the anxiety and the intrusive thoughts, and it makes things worse. It takes more courage to talk about what you're struggling with than it does to bottle it up inside. Yeah, apologies everyone about that's the salmon cooking in the background. Trying to be strong has the opposite effect in that it weakens you and prevents you from overcoming your struggles, whereas allowing yourself to be weak, also known as vulnerable, has the opposite effect in that it strengthens you and enables you to find a solution to overcome your struggle. Let me give you two examples in my life when I successfully was able to overcome my struggle with anxiety and intrusive thoughts. Example number one. I was suffering from panic attacks, social anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts in my early 20s when I lived in Fulham Broadway. I asked for help and I confessed my anxieties to God, my nan, and my mum, which enabled me to overcome this struggle in my life at the time with getting a relationship with my ideal woman, making money, helping people, and overcoming my mental health challenges. After listening to Les Brown, a Les Brown motivational YouTube video, I found the solution to my struggle, and I soon after was able to overcome it successfully. I was happy, successful, and peaceful. Example number two. After being a successful coach and an entrepreneur, I suffered with a mental health breakdown, and I was struggling to live each day because my anxiety and my intrusive thoughts were causing me so much pain and stress. At the time, my mum insisted that I get professional help. I eventually agreed despite being afraid of getting help. My pride was definitely getting in the way as I was a successful teacher who helped other people to overcome their anxieties and their struggles. Now I was the one who needed help. I was living in a mental hospital with no money, no relationship. I lost all the confidence that took me years to build up over the years, and my anxiety was worse than it's ever been. I thought my life was over, and a part of me wanted to give up. After reading the Bible and praying to God for help, it gave me strength and it enabled me to not give up. I accepted help from all the professionals, my family, friends, which gave me the help and the support that I needed to make a full recovery. Another lesson I've learned from going through a struggle is to find gratitude. Finding gratitude in the midst of your struggles makes you rich, even when you feel poor inside. Gratitude is the foundation of everything, and without gratitude, in my experience from going through so many struggles and trials and tribulations, it's almost, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it almost is impossible to overcome a struggle without an ounce of gratitude. Relationships are another thing I've learnt from going through many struggles in my life. You only need one person, whom you can trust to share your vulnerabilities with, which will not only help you during your struggle, but strengthen your mind and spirit. You will also value yourself and that person you've got a good relationship with, whom you share your struggle with because of the relationship that you build. The most beautiful and precious gift you will receive when you come out the other side of your struggle is your story and the story that you can share with someone else who is struggling and needs your help. Giving is the highest human reward. When we give to others, we also receive the gift from giving. I've also written here, giving without expecting anything in return, and that is receiving anyway. The receiving is the gift of giving. What you receive from giving without expecting anything back from the person or the people or the situation. It's not easy for anyone, but don't let shame stop you from receiving the help you deserve to overcome your struggle. People are always ashamed of struggling until they face their fear and they overcome their struggle. Shame is the enemy that tries its hardest to keep you from being honest about your struggle. I was ashamed during both my struggles, especially at the beginning. However, I had enough of suffering and I was able to find the strength to not allow my shame to keep me living in fear and to prevent me from opening up and getting help that I needed. It's also important when you're going through a struggle in life to study other people who have been through the same struggle that you're going through right now, so you don't feel alone in your struggle. It's also a great source of motivation, inspiration, and hope to know that if someone else can overcome the same struggle that you're going through right now, then so can you. Never give up, because there's always hope no matter how difficult your situation is right now. You're going to come out the other side a stronger and a more humble person. That's it, man. Appreciate all of you listening. And that was what I wrote today. That's my honest confession. And this is the teaching that has literally saved my life so many times in my personal life. Now, as a teacher, this has been the same method or confession that's helped hundreds of my clients in all different situations in their life with all different types of struggles. Most of the struggles will originate from some sort of anxiety, whether it's emotional, it's financial, it's social, it's life, it's a health challenge, it's the past, the present, it's communication, mental, whatever the case may be. So there is hope for everyone. I appreciate you listening. I'll see you in the next video.